In today's video, we are going to give you our top 5 tips for Halloween Horror Nights.
If you're new here, on this channel we talk about all things theme parks, including updates, news, and tips and tricks for your next theme park vacation. So, if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Hey guys, welcome back. We have had to learn the hard way of what you should and shouldn't do when you visit Halloween Horror Nights. So what we're going to do in today's video is we are going to give you our top 5 tips to help you make the most of your nights at HHN.
Our first tip is to purchase tickets early. Single night tickets, express passes, and VIP tours went on sale on June 17th. And although single night tickets shouldn't vary in price as you get closer to the event.
No, they shouldn't vary as you get closer, but they will vary night to night.
The same thing cannot be said for express passes and VIP tours. Just like the regular day express passes, as more people purchase these tickets, the prices do tend to increase. The RIP tours, for example, they start out at $199 per person per night, but there are already several nights that are well over $300, and the tickets haven't even been on sale for a month. And there are already some nights that are already showing no availability at all. We know that there are several people that are holding out for multi-day tickets, like the frequent fear passes that Universal has sold in the past.
So, in case you aren't aware, the frequent fear pass is essentially like the annual pass for the parks. It gets you in on multiple nights where you don't have to buy individual tickets.
Right.
It can save you money sometimes, and there's just different levels of them. Some of them, like the annual pass, have blockout dates, and some of them get you in every night.
If you go ahead and purchase the single night tickets and then Universal later releases some type of multi-night tickets, you can take the money that you paid for those single night tickets and transfer it to the multi-day passes. So this way you can go ahead and purchase those single day tickets so you don't miss out on any of the deals or specials or run the risk of Universal selling out of tickets the nights that you're wanting to visit.
Our second tip is to buy a Coke Freestyle Cup. Oh, I'm being shocked there. No, seriously, if you've been around the channel, you know how much we love the Freestyle Cup.
Yeah.
But they just make a lot of sense at Halloween Horror Nights. Think about this. If you have a ticket for HHN and you also have a daytime ticket, you could get to the parks as early as like 8 o'clock those days. HHN runs all the way until like 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. That is 18 hours of refills. You could fill up like your pool with Coca-Cola if you wanted to at that point. Like you can get refills every 10 minutes. For $10. 18 hours of refills. $10. That's a great deal. So like we say all the time here, we always think that the Freestyle Cups are a fantastic idea, but they are a huge money saver during HHN.
Our third tip is to stay late at night. The event starts at 6:30 in the evening and runs until 1 or 2 at night, and a lot of people just don't make it to close. They've probably been in the park since noon or earlier, and by the time 11 or 12 at night runs around, they're just done. So if you can tough it out and stay up a little bit later, you really will see some of those wait times start to drop.
So you know how your parents always told you that nothing good happens after midnight. Well, that's just not true. We've had plenty of great things happen after midnight. One of them is that the wait times drastically decrease at Halloween Horror Nights. The last time that we were there, so HHN 29, on our last night, we had used our express on Ghostbusters. The wait time was like over 3 hours at one point that night.
Yeah.
And so we just had assumed that was our last time going through that house. But then we stayed really late, like we were talking about, and we were about to leave the parks. Like it was going on 1 o'clock. I think it was like 12:45, 1 o'clock. and the wait time was all the way down to like a 45-minute wait. So we went ahead and hopped in line, and that's just what happens. Some of these houses that are crazy busy, especially towards the front of the park, the crowds start dying out, and you can get a lot more done in just one night.
Our next tip is to wear comfy shoes.
Always.
We've had some really long days at Halloween Horror Nights, and our feet hurt afterwards.
And my feet hurt.
We've had days where we walked over 40,000 steps.
And my feet really hurt.
Getting to the parks early in the morning and going all day, and then heading to Halloween Horror Nights and staying until close.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that makes Halloween Horror Nights even harder than riding rides during the day is that you don't really get a break. When you ride rides, you get to sit down on the attraction itself, but during Halloween Horror Nights, you have to walk through the houses themselves.
Yeah, the only real breaks that you might get are when you like sit down to eat, something like that. The 2 shows that typically happen, you can get a little break there, but it is just all walking or standing.
Yeah.
And that is a recipe for some ouchies.
What we would really suggest doing is heading back to your hotel room before the event starts so that you can go ahead and get comfortable. Maybe you want to change your socks and shoes. Maybe you want to change your entire outfit. But the most important part is making sure that you're as comfortable as possible before HHN even begins.
So we are terrible at heeding our own advice sometimes. We have done that a couple of times where we went back to the room, changed our socks and shoes, and it has made a world of difference. So, with that being said, do as we say, not as we do. If your feet are starting to hurt a little bit, or even if they're not, and you just know your tendencies, go ahead and go change shoes. It does make a big difference. We are very guilty of just being like, oh, we'll be fine, like we'll push through it. And then like by day 3, we're just like, oh, we're not okay.
Our last and probably best tip is to take advantage of Stay and Scream. Stay and Scream is basically a holding area that lets you get into the event a little bit faster than if you enter through the main gate.
A lot of it faster.
So if you're not familiar with Stay and Scream, the way that it works is that there are 2 areas where you can wait for Halloween Horror Nights to start. The first one is next to Finnegan's on the Central Plaza side, and the other one is at Duff Brewery inside of Springfield.
So there actually is like a third, I just wanted to mention this, a third area.
Right.
But it's overflow. It's by the Hello Kitty area, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But it's basically just overflow if there's too many people at Stay and Scream for those days.
When you get there, you'll see an area that's roped off with people that are waiting for the event to begin.
There'll be somebody like sitting there. It'll be like a stanchion that you walk through basically, and they'll have like a scanner.
Yeah.
Sort of like when you're coming through the front of the park, and it is to check your ticket for HHN.
The benefit to using Stay and Scream is that you get to get into the event a little bit earlier and knock out some of the houses before the crowds really start to build. So the event starts at 6:30, but Universal usually drops the rope for Stay and Scream at around 6, if not even earlier. So even though they do typically open the front gates a little bit earlier than 6:30, that still gives you around a half hour to get 1 or 2 houses done before the crowds really start to build.
Yeah, we've actually kind of done an experiment with this before, and we have had people who are coming through general admission. Yeah. And we have gotten 2 houses done before they even got to us. So it is definitely a way, if you have limited time at Halloween Horror Nights, say you're only going for one night, it's definitely something that we recommend because it is going to save you so much time.
To get into Stay and Scream, you do have to have a way to get into the parks in the first place. So either a single day ticket, a multi-day ticket, or even an annual pass.
You're also going to need a ticket to HHN, of course, because you've got to be able to get into the event.
Yes, you will need a ticket for Halloween Horror Nights. But in years past, Universal has sold an upgrade that allows you to go into Stay and Scream, and it's called Scream Early. We're not sure if they're going to be offering this upgrade this year or not. I actually called Universal and spoke with a team member, and what they said is that it's not currently available, but that there are many Halloween Horror Nights products that have yet to be released.
We are looking at you, Frequent Fear Pass, as of July 15th.
Fingers crossed. But in years past, this add-on has been about $25 per day. Another thing to note is that if you're not in one of the Stay and Scream areas by the time that Universal Studios closes to daytime guests and the team members start ushering people out, you will have to leave the park and you will have to re-enter through the main gate.
Yeah, and it's not just like, you're not just going to get ushered out back. Oh man, that was such a slight inconvenience. You're not just going to go back and walk around and just be sitting there in front of one of the people with the finger scanners and they're like, did you forget to get in Stay and Scream? Yes, ma'am. This is going to cost me tens of seconds. No. You're going to be standing like by the buses where they drop hotel guests off. Like, the line has already started forming at that point.
So what we really suggest doing is around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, go ahead and head back to your hotel room, change clothes, get comfortable, and then you can make your way back over to the parks, maybe grab a snack and
fill up that freestyle cup.
Definitely fill up your freestyle cup and make sure that you're in your Stay and Scream area by 4:30 at the latest. Also, neither of the Stay and Scream areas are particularly shaded.
Whoa. When she says they're not shaded, like, you know how if you get like 3 feet from a light source and you're just directly in it and there's like no shade? That's what she's talking about. It is just, it's like laying in a tanning bed.
Yeah, so
You feel yourself cooking.
There are a lot of people at Stay and Scream. I mean, you kind of get packed in there a little bit and the sun is beating down on you.
You hope that some big 6'8" guy's right behind you and they're just like, please stand close to me, breathe down my neck.
You need somebody to give you a little bit of shade. It can get absolutely miserable when you're waiting for the event to begin. So we highly suggest maybe bringing an umbrella for some shade or like one of those cooling towels or maybe even like the neck fans that you see somebody have. But you definitely want to be prepared for how miserable Stay and Scream can get.
All right, guys, that wraps up today's video. We hope that these tips are useful to you. If you utilize them, we promise you, you will have a better trip. Leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know, how much wood does a woodchuck chuck?
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you get an alert every time we post a new video.
6'8" guy right behind us. Thanks for watching.